Hello and welcome back to Yapping About Sports. On today's show, very light, very short, just going over the game that I was at on Tuesday night again or on Wednesday night. The Tigers lose 6-4 to the Cleveland Guardians. From the start, going to start with the starter for the Detroit Tigers, Framber Valdez. Pitches 5 2/3. I think he gave up 4 or 5 hits, had 5 walks, I'm pretty sure, and a couple of them weren't even competitive at bats. 4 or 5 pitch walks, 3-0. A couple of them, I believe, were 4-0, 4 pitch walks. Got hit around a little bit, gave up a 2-run homer to Joe Adell to give the Guardians a 4-3 lead. They were down 2-0 after a above 20 pitch first inning. Valdez did not record his first out of the game until his 18th pitch in the first inning, which ended up being 2 outs on a double play, but that was with the bases loaded and nobody out when Cleveland could have done some real damage early on. The offense would, in a positive manner in the bottom of the first, respond well. Torkelson would have a 2 RBI double, tying the game at 2, making that the score after the first inning. The Tigers would actually have a lead in this game and would be the next game or be the next team to strike in this one. Gleyber Torres would come around with a solo home run, 421 feet. It was an absolute shot to left center field, past the bullpens into the stands in left center field. 3-2 would remain the score until the fifth inning, as I mentioned. Joe Adell would hit a 2-run homer, moonshot as well, went pretty far. 4-3 would be the finals. Or 4-3 would be the score after 5 innings of work. Tigers would go into the 7th inning down 4-3 and would be just 1 out away from remaining at that score. And I believe a hit off of De Jesus that would squiggle its way down the right field line would give the Guardians a 5-3 advantage, and then an infield hit as well in the 7th inning would give the Guardians their 6th run to make it a 6-3 game. I believe in the bottom of the 8th inning, it was a first and third opportunity, and because of a wild pitch, McGonigal would score on third, or was on third and would score, making it a 6-4 game. The Tigers would threaten in the bottom of the 9th, having runners on first and third. Dylan Dingler up at the plate with only 1 out. Dingler and McGonigal would be the next 2 batters up with the tying run on first, go-ahead run at the plate. And I believe it got all the way back down to Max Clark, but unfortunately, Clark, McGonigal, and Dingler not able to get the job done, or at least Dingler and McGonigal in that bottom of, or at least Dingler and Clark, mixed matching names here, in the bottom of the 9th. Bullpen wasn't really the storyline in this one, more so concerned that the pitcher that we are paying almost $40 million for to be a left-handed starting pitcher on this rotation has been unable to produce consistent outs, has not been able. I don't really know the exact feeling, but the flow of the game and the optimism that I have watching this team is drastically different from when watching Jackson Jobe and Troy Melton this weekend to when Jack Flaherty and Framber Valdez have been on the mound as starting pitchers this season. So Tigers offense had Spencer Torkelson go for an RBI double. Wild pitch leading to a run later on for the 4th run and a Gleyber Torres solo home run. I know De Jesus was used in this one as well. So pitching, I mean, I have a lot of concerns for Framber Valdez at this point. I don't know. In terms of lately, he's possibly been your worst starting arm. He had a 7 innings of good baseball earlier this past season, or at least a week and a half or 2 ago, but just not the same, has not been reaching the same level of potential, and has not been reaching what we are paying him to do, which is get ground balls, get consistent outs, be close to, give up as minimal hits as possible. But you look up after just 3 or 4 innings of work, and he's giving up 3 or 4 hits, 3 or 4 walks, and low strikeouts, so there's not a lot of swing and miss in this bat. In the first 4 or 5 innings of tonight's game, the Guardians had 17 balls put in play with an average exit velo of 92. So they were just tagging Valdez all over the park. Wasn't really any way to put it. And on Adell's 2-run homer, I thought that we were going to lose 4-3. I thought that this was going to be a 1-run loss, but would not be the case. That's where the Tigers are at. I've been saying that I'm not going to take them serious until they're 500. I should have really stuck to my guns on that. I got prisoner of the moment, being at Comerica and beating the Guardians and going 8-2 in the last 10 games. I still think that there is a lot ahead of this team, and it could change with the arms of Montero, Job, and Melton. But when Flaherty and Valdez are in this rotation, those are 2 out of 5 days that just are not going to be consistent strike throwing. Is not going to be a good flow to the game, and that you're going to have to need your bullpen and you're going to need your offense to battle to win those types of games. Tigers lose this one 6-4. A lot of other MLB action to dive into, but being at the Tigers games, I'm not able to tune into a lot. I did see that the San Diego Padres had a 4-3 walk-off win in 11 innings, and that the Colorado Rockies were able to get a road win over the Arizona Diamondbacks. I know that those are major games in terms of National League wildcard positioning. Unfortunately, the Tigers fall and are now equal with the Twins, both 3.5 games back for second place in the American League Central, and 1.5 games or 1 game back after the Tigers game. Have not seen and have not looked at the final score of the Angels and Rangers yet. I know that the Twins beat the Orioles, and I was watching some National League Park action. I know that the Yankees won tonight over the Mariners. I know that the Rays now have the best record in baseball. The Cubs beat the Nationals, and so on and so forth. But more focused right now on the Tigers. I don't mean to sound low. I don't mean to sound monotone today, but again, late night, and also the Tigers did not win. The excitement was not there tonight. Sort of just felt like an off night, being honest, and after Adele hit the 2-run homer, and really didn't really feel like there was a real shot in this one. There was no really grittiness. I know that they threatened in the bottom of the 9th inning and had an at-bat in order to tie and win the game, but just a really funky game, not really the best, not really sure how to describe it, but just not a fluent game, not one that I was looking forward to talking about, if I'm being honest, and feels like a lost opportunity. You really hope that they're able to salvage. Like I said, this is 1 out of the 2 losses that I'm allowing on this homestand. You have to stay 4-2. You have to keep climbing, keep winning series. You cannot allow yourself, even if you lose one of the series, you have to sweep the other. So tomorrow is all important. I myself will not be at Comerica Park. But that is what I have really for you guys today. This is a Detroit and Michigan State sports talking podcast, and that is what I will talk about. I will say this: Friday, Saturday, Sunday against the White Sox, especially with Melton and Job on the mound, I expect as many Tiger fans to be out there as possible. That is what I have for you guys on today's Yapping About Sports. Thank you again for listening.